The movie begins as every normal horror movie begins. The main characters, Haley and Katie, are watching cat videos in the bleachers. The redheaded character, Katie, says that it'd be cuter if they exploded. Well, that's not a red flag. Did you know sneezing means you're expelling demons? That's why I never sneeze. I want to keep them all in my soul, if I had one. That day, two groups of friends, the boys and the girls, are talking in the hallway. But what the boys are talking about is top secret. What's the big secret? The girls ask. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. Well, okay, that was abrupt. Apparently, the secret is sinister. They exchange what they're doing for the weekend. The guys say they might go to a party, and the girls say they'll probably stay in and drink vodka. The handsome guy, Tom, and the main female lead, Haley, look at each other as if they have a thing, as the two groups walk away from each other. Oh, they definitely have a thing. That night, Haley and her family sit at dinner and gossip. They talk about how Haley's friend got pregnant.
What is she planning to do now?
Because there's nothing more interesting than teenage pregnancy. The scene cuts to the weekend, where the girls' pregame starts. They're all watching porn and drinking vodka. Wait, girls watch porn? They must really have nothing else to do on a Friday night.
Sometimes I wish I could just leave.
I have friends in Paris. We can stay there. There's that one high school friend trying too hard to be cool. There's always one of them. What should they do for the night? Well, it looks like gossiping is one of their favorite things. But do you remember how the boys group had a secret they were hiding? Well, apparently Chloe has insider information on what their secret is. They are getting together at Tom's house to summon Slenderman. Wait, who's Slenderman? He's the one who makes all those kids disappear. Well, let's get some more information on this Slenderman. Is he a good guy? Is he a nice guy? Is he just a skinny guy? What type of person is this Slenderman? Chloe reads off the basic information about the Slenderman she finds on her laptop. Slenderman can manifest in a variety of forms. Certain accounts speak about a hypnotic power that renders his victims helpless to stop themselves from walking into waiting arms. While his origins and motives are completely unknown, he preys upon innocent youth. Once you see him, you're his. Some he takes, some he doesn't. Nobody knows why he takes who he takes or why he leaves who he leaves, but the ones he leaves behind are messed up forever. Alright, well, Slenderman doesn't sound like a nice guy after all. As a matter of fact, he sounds terrible. Here, the audience is thinking he could be a nice guy, but it turns out he's actually a child kidnapper and murderer. In the comment section of the website with info on the Slenderman, an account named AlleyCat93 posts a link for those who want to summon Slenderman. The girls click on the link, which takes them to a video. They begin the video to summon Slenderman, which starts out with a black background and the words, "Those who hear the 3 bells toll accept his invitation. When you hear the first, you must close your eyes, keeping your words unspoken. If one wants to hear, you must listen closely, for they are soft and distant, with eyes still closed and mind wide open. Clear your thoughts. Await the second. Opening your eyes only once, you've heard the third." The video takes them from a bird's eye view over a dark forest environment to a first-person view of the dark forest. Creepy music plays in the background, and the full moon is out. The first bell rings, and all the girls close their eyes until the third bell hits. The Slender Man nearly appears in a tree branch, but instead of him appearing, a pattern of trippy images, almost like a hypnosis spell, appears on the screen for about 15 seconds, seemingly casting a spell on all the girls who are watching it. The girls laugh it off afterwards like it's silly, watch a movie, and go to sleep. But Haley has a nightmare about Slender Man that night, and so it begins. Fast forward a week later, the girls are all on a field trip, walking through a forest in the day. Chloe said she threw up twice this morning after the bus. "Have you been having nightmares?" Haley asks her friend. Chloe, the black girl, says no, but the emo girl, Ren, says yeah. She's been having nightmares about Slenderman. Katie, the redhead, is clearly shook by it the most. She stares off into the woods in a daze, as if she's looking for Slenderman. I'm calling it now, guys. She's gonna die first. And boom, Katie disappears. She goes missing. In the next scene, the police are here looking for her. Ren is upset, talking into Katie's voicemail. "Katie, cut the shit out. We're all prisoners because of you." She still hasn't answered my texts. The whole town begins to wonder as the local news reports that she's been missing. Her friends put up missing posters all over school, and Mr. Jensen, Katie's father, begins to go crazy. And the horror begins. Haley is at her house alone with her sister, and someone is there. Is it the Slender Man? Who's at her house? Frightening music begins to play as someone is frantically trying to open Haley's Haley's door, but it's Mr. Jensen. He's pissed off and hysterical. "Where's my daughter? Is Katie here? Are you hiding her?" "No, I don't know where she is." Haley implores him to stop acting crazy. "It's all your fault. She was never into this stuff. This is some cult stuff." Mr. Jensen nearly strangles Haley as she runs away. Whew, close call. Mr. Jensen gets arrested by the police for this offense. Hit the comment section with what you think Mr. Jensen got arrested for. Is it child abuse? Is it trespassing? Or is it endangering endangered species? Wrong answers only. Fast forward to the next day at school. The boyfriend group is talking to the girlfriend group. "Did you guys really try to summon Slenderman? Why? We chickened out." Okay, now we know that it's only the girls that are cursed. Thanks, David Burke, the writer. Haley thinks Katie was kidnapped, but Ren, watching the video, clearly affected all of them. She says she felt it. She didn't see Slenderman. She felt it. I'm pretty sure that Katie felt it too, and that's why she disappeared. That night, they got a horror movie idea and all decided it's a great idea to explore some dark, scary place. So they go out to Katie's house and look for evidence of Katie. At Katie's house, Ren knocks on the door and distracts Mr. Jensen, asking him if there's anything she could do to help out with his loss. "She's playing you, Mr. Jensen."
"What are you doing here?"
Meanwhile, Chloe and Haley sneak through the back door, run up the stairs, and search Katie's room for evidence. The two girls find creepy drawings of the Slenderman on her desk, scribbled notes, a mysterious book, and Katie's laptop. Because it's the 21st century, they choose to go through her laptop first. They browse through Katie's history on her laptop, which shows that Katie's been researching the Slenderman. The last site she visited shows two little girls playing in the woods while the Slenderman looms near. The next video vividly shows a kid getting chased and grabbed by Slenderman. And then they find Katie's messages, where she messages the infamous account that linked them to the Slenderman video in the first place, AlleyCat93. Katie says, "I watched the video and I was hoping to know more." "What do you want to know?" AlleyCat responds. The two then begin to share experiences with the Slenderman, as it seems like both AlleyCat93 and herself are current victims of Slenderman. At the end of the message chain, also sent a video of herself in the dark forest, seemingly being approached by Slenderman. Ren is completely frightened, as if she saw Slenderman in the video, although he did not appear. Hold up, guys. I'm calling the second death. I think Ren, the emo chick, is gonna die second. The next day, Ren messages AlleyCat93 again, clearly scared and curious. Ren asks what they have to do to get Katie back. The girl responds by saying, "It depends on what you're willing to give him." Ren explains this conversation she had online with Haley and Chloe the next day at school. This is gonna sound crazy, but AlleyCat said we can contact Slenderman. We can sacrifice something to get Katie back. They're going to sacrifice something to Slenderman to get Katie back. Don't you know you should never negotiate with terrorists, Katie? With that in mind, the three venture off into the dark woods that night, as they should in a horror movie. Such a sensible action. They venture into the dark woods with objects to sacrifice for Slenderman. Ren sacrifices a pot she crafted, Chloe sacrifices the only picture she has of her and her father, and Haley sacrifices a piece of clothing her late grandmother made for her. "Is that it?" says the Slenderman. Psych, he can't talk. But seriously, you gotta give more than that, guys. The three friends hold hands after offering their sacrifice and wait in the dark woods with blindfolds over their eyes.
Do you hear that?
Bells ring in the forest, and on the third strike, Chloe takes off her blindfold. Uh-oh, she sees Slenderman. She runs into the woods where Slenderman chases her, and finally we see Slenderman up close for the first time as he takes Chloe. I told her to keep her blindfold on. After frantically searching and running in the dark woods, they find Chloe, who seems shook by the incident. Nothing happened.
I lost my shoe.
I just got scared. They all walk home and try to forget about the whole incident. But the next night, Chloe sits in her room, and she's clearly possessed by Slenderman at this point. The next night, Chloe appears in her room while the Slenderman sends her a video via text message. He sends her a video of him walking into her house, then into her room. She watches as he creeps up into her room and is actually let into the room by Chloe. At this point, the worst thing that could happen happened. I was wrong about who dies second. Slenderman chokes Chloe out in her room. Clearly, he didn't like her picture of her father she offered to him, but her father was handsome, Slenderman. What the hell? The next day, Haley has a conversation with Tom, the guy she likes on the baseball field. Tom asks her out like a G, but the whole conversation is ruined because she's haunted by the Slenderman mid-conversation, who is staring at her from the woods. The two agree to hang out this upcoming weekend at Tom's house. Alright, the next scene shows Ren in the library. She's researching the Slenderman. Apparently, he goes back years. He goes back to the medieval times, and he still looks nearly the same. Wow, what incredible aging. She looks up a research paper and picks out a research article trying to find more information about the Slenderman. She reads through a book titled Bioelectrical Systems and the Paranormal and tries to call Haley about it, but the Slenderman doesn't like that. He shuts off her phone and pulls her into a hallucination. In what appears to be a real scene, Ren is chased by the ever-creeping Slenderman. The bells ring as Slenderman chases her through the library. Drawing inspiration from face eaters in Harry Potter, the Slenderman puts his fingers around Ren's face and steals it. Ren runs around with no face, only awaking from the dark library hallucination to broad day, where the regular librarian is trying to help her because Ren is freaking out. The next day, Ren brings the book to school and shows Haley frantically, like a mad scientist. It appears she's gone crazy as she's showing Haley this book. Has anything happened to you, Haley? I thought I saw something in the trees.
And non-specific dissolution.
The two friends agree to go to Chloe's house to protect her, but Chloe is clearly in a bad state. She stares blankly at them as if she has no soul left. Did the Slenderman steal her soul? By this point, Ren is starting to go crazy while Haley is trying to cope by pretending like everything's normal. But we all know they're both screwed, right? So,
He's not gonna stop!
flash forward to the lovemaking scene. Wait, not quite yet. Haley's gotta do her makeup first, then go to Tom's house. She knocks on his door so she can begin lovemaking, and the two of them listen to vinyls and chill because Tom's parents aren't home. So now they finally start making love, or making out at least, on Tom's couch. But of course, Slenderman cockblocks the whole show. While Tom and Haley are making out, she's possessed with a nightmare that she's being strangled violently by Tom. She screams at the top of her lungs and sends Tom's boner down faster than anyone could imagine. What the hell? Haley, I didn't do anything. It's okay, Tom. The audience knows you're not a creep. We all know it's Slenderman. Haley is freaking out, kind of, and so Tom tries to reassure Haley that everything's gonna be okay. He tries to look up more information about the Slenderman and pulls up the video to summon Slenderman. Don't watch that video, Haley says. It's just a video. No, it's not just a video. Promise me you won't ever watch that video. Haley convinces him successfully to never watch the video. The next day at school, they're in science class, and Tom shows up shook. He's got bruises on his arms, his hands are shaking, and it's obvious that he watched the movie last night. You had one job, Tom. All you had to do was not watch the damn video. That night, Haley asks AlleyCat93 if she can help them, but AlleyCat93's account got terminated. She messaged Ren that she's sorry and doesn't know what to do. I told you, and now it's too late, Ren replies. He does this in a scene where Haley hears Katie's voice in the dark woods, chases her, and is spotted and chased by the Slenderman, who creeps closer and closer. Haley then wakes up from this nightmare sequence, and the audience thinks that she's in real life now. But the director doubles down on this trick as Haley wakes up in her bed, walks into her bathroom mirror, and nearly throws up in her sink as spikes begin to grow out of her pregnant belly until it explodes, where she finally wakes up. As soon as she wakes up, she finds her sister Lizzie in the other room, seemingly choking to death and being possessed by an unknown object. I wonder who that could be. If you can't tell already, the movie's plot gets crazier and crazier over time. The film itself is descending into madness. In the hospital the next day, Lizzie is passed out in the hospital bed. The doctors say her tests are negative. She'll be fine. It's probably just a panic attack, right? After they find out the results, Haley walks through the hospital and begins to hallucinate again. When she makes it back to the hospital bed, she sees that Lizzie is now passed out with the sheets covering her whole body. When Haley uncloaks the sheet covering Lizzie, Lizzie grabs her arm suddenly and sends her into another nightmare sequence. By this time, she's clearly having nightmares more and more often. At this point, not only is the story descending into madness, but it's becoming harder and harder to tell what's a hallucination and what's real life for the audience. The next day, Haley curiously looks through her younger sister Lizzie's laptop for evidence of what happened to her. She was just carted off into an insane asylum and she needs to find out what happened. But oh shit, we got some drama. Want to know why she got taken to the insane asylum? Because Haley's best friend Ren, formerly known as the emo chick, sacrificed Lizzie to the Slenderman. Oh no you didn't, Ren, you handful of curse words. Haley, in a vengeful fury, storms to Ren's house to confront her after finding this information out. Haley goes into Ren's room and finds hundreds of drawings posted on the wall related to the Slender Man. She looks on her computer to find that Ren's on a search to find the infamous Alley Cat 93, who we now find out was sent to an insane asylum of her own until she went missing. While nowhere to be found initially, Haley finds Ren freaking out on the balcony of her room in a tense state.
Ren, you're gonna fall!
Standing on her windowsill as if she's about to commit suicide. She lets herself go in an attempt to commit suicide, but Haley pulls her back in and saves her, for the Slender Man to likely kill her later instead. Come on guys, we all know what's gonna happen. They're all gonna die, right? That's my sister, why would you do that? Chill, Haley, it's just your sister. She's just a goner, who cares? Ren, she's in the hospital. You can't just give him something you love to make him stop. He wants us. At this point, the Slender Man appears to be lurking, so Ren attempts to call 911, but the Slender Man disrupts her phone and instead sends them a message of him walking into Ren's house. The Slender Man spreads his long, tree branch arms through the window, grabs Ren and pulls her into the woods. Haley begins to have flashbacks of every encounter she's ever had with the Slender Man. But wait, let's not think about it too much. Let's go into the woods. She runs into the woods where the Slender Man resides again, and the bells begin to ring. The Slender Man is lurking around. She's finally confronted by the Slender Man in what seems to be real life. The Slender Man's arms and legs grow, and he starts crawling rapidly towards her like a spider, walking on his giant, creepy, crawly arms and legs. She runs into the dark forest and thinks she's free of him until a tree animates itself and grabs her with its branches and pins her against its trunk, surrounding Haley with its branches until she is completely engulfed by the tree. The film's next scene shows Haley's little sister, Lizzie, screaming in her hospital bed as if she knows what's just happened to her sister. She's dead. They're all dead. And finally, the horror movie fulfills its promise of killing all of the main characters by the end of it. In the final scene, Lizzie tells the tale of the Slender Man, showing the viewers that this is just another story of the Slender Man, one of many, with more to come. To his victims, he is a once-in-a-lifetime horror story. To the Slender Man, it was just another day at the office.